Greetings, everyone. So I'm trying something different today. We'll see how it goes. I just wanted to talk about like random things and toxic people, jealous people, metaphysics, high vibration, low vibration. And of course, whenever you talk about this, it's got to be a little narcissism. And I'm definitely going to post this on my narcissism channel. And I'm trying something new with a little bit of background music in background. I don't have it really loud, so I hope this goes well. If it doesn't go well, I'll try something new next time. So, what I wanted to focus on is jealous people. People that do not wish you anything good. And usually that comes from a deep down insecurity about themselves. Because anyone that wants to put other people down all the time is doing that so they can feel better about themselves, rather than putting energy into their own lives, improving their lives, going to school, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, unless it's illegal, that's a different problem, different problem. But, something that's going to improve their lives. I mean, it could even be taking up a new hobby, learning how to knit, or walking every day for 30 minutes. But because people that are jealous tend to be lazy. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're lazy in the physical sense, or the working, whatever that is. But as far as actually doing something to improve their lives or their family's life, they have excuses. Oh, I'm too old. I'm too heavy, or I'm too... My family didn't come from money. I can't do that. Or it doesn't matter what it is. And if you're around a person like this and you're trying to help them, they will drag you down into the dirt. And because I'm a firm believer in law of attraction, I personally believe that it doesn't matter if you believe in law of attraction or not, it's still there. Like Dr. Michael Beckwith said, Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith said, it's the same as the law of gravity. You throw a ball up into the air, it's going to hit the ground. And I believe that's the same with law of attraction. Whether you believe it or not. I mean, why do you think these evil vampiric filth are doing all the things that they can to control the world through thought vibration? War, killing, all these things, which are lower vibrations. Energy vampire. A jealous person is an energy vampire, whether they know it or not. And what's really sad about the jealous person is that, well, there's a lot of tragedy. And I personally think that if you have a really jealous person, there has to be some type of narcissism there. Because anyone that's healthy is going to put and utilize their energy to improve their own lives and birds of a feather flock together. So if you have a person that doesn't want to do anything to improve their life, they have to drag other people down. Doesn't matter what it is, they will find something, and that's the narcissistic shame. And when you're around folks like this, you will be drained. And I feel the more wise you get about, I wish these images would show up a little larger. I'm doing something different here. The wiser you get about human nature and people, you'll be better off to, you'll be better at staying away from them. I find myself very happy being by myself a lot, but doesn't mean that I don't want good friends and people around me. Let's see. Jealousy is a nasty trait. It will have people hating on someone they should be taking notes, facts, and learning from, facts, instead of using their energy to tear them down, facts. Because everything's energy. I mean, that's why I try to stay out of things. Well, I mean, obviously you guys are going through breast cancer treatment, so I have to take care of myself. But if you start getting entangled in too much negative energy, it's going to bring you down. Interesting, the images they show for jealous people. I'm going to switch images. Give me a second here. So, I'm thinking mean girls, jealous girls. I mean, we even have TV shows called Gossip Girls, Mean Girls. It's not just women, of course. And not that I myself haven't liked a little bit of gossip here and there, but I think it's where you put your energy. You know, like if you're putting all of your energy into gossip, you're putting all your energy into gossip, which is to tear other people down, which of course can be linked to the smear campaign. Why not use that energy to go to the gym? Or I use that a lot because I like to work out. You never know it by looking at me now, but, or, you know, reading a book, participating in positive affirmations, praying, something that is helping other people or yourself rather than trying to tear other people down. I think it's kind of when you really think about it, it's a disease in our society. Got to put other people down. Talk. Now, I want to be clear. When you're trying to expose an abuser, talk all day long. If you're virtuous and you are trying to reveal a person's true character, that shows who you are as a person. To me, A person doing that is a warrior. I think about a person like William Good. He's a warrior. But the thing about a jealous person is, which is 100% narcissistic, they don't want to put energy into improving their life, doing something better for themselves, doing something better for their children, whatever the case is. They want to put other people down. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, I take myself as an example. All I was doing was trying to help this particular person. Then I got to a point where I was like, you need to help yourself. Oh, I can't do this because blah, 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 blah. And literally, people that act like this have stayed on the level of a teenager, like intellectually. Not that they don't have any intellectualism, but as far as their maturity, it never went past a teenager. And anyone always constantly tearing other people down, you don't feel good about yourself. I'm not saying once in a while you can't get a good jab in. If somebody's tearing you down, sometimes I personally think a good jab back is good. You know, it's energy though, so I mean, ultimately my rule is do not engage to the best of my ability. But sometimes enough is enough, right? Sometimes you gotta say something. But the people that act like this, man, they will frickin' tear you the fuck down. It doesn't matter what you do. You are always wrong. You will always be called stupid. No matter how intelligent you are, you will always be called dumb. You know, I'm just throwing it out there. Whatever it is, you'll be called a slut, you'll be called a whore, whatever it is, you know, especially men that love to put women down, right? I can't seem to drink enough water, you guys. I'm trying. But it's amazing how many years it took me to learn about all this stuff. And not to say, like, say you're at the office, you're just chilling, and you get a little piece of gossip. I mean, if you're not harming people, you're like, oh my gosh, that happened. You listen, then you move on, you do your job. But when gossip becomes like a really, it's like, you guys remember, for the old school people here, Charlie Brown, you know, what do they call him? The kid that had the cloud around him all the time because Pigpen. He didn't bath or he didn't bathe, which essentially means he was abused, but you know. It's the same thing when people gossip. You're building like a real negative cloud, and all it's going to do is draw more of that to it. Just like what everyone's seeing in the news and what's going on through the world, which I kind of dip out of. Not that I'm not aware of anything, but I try to stay out of it and just enjoy my life and create peace where I can. That's how they are controlling people. It's very, very dark and sick. Funny how these same images keep coming up. They want you to cower down. Energy vampires. So you got the jealous folks. A lot of women are like that. A lot of men in general. I mean, but I think, in my personal opinion, in my life, it's tended to be a lot of times gay men, because gay men kind of want to be women sometimes. No shade to all gay men, but that's been my personal experience. The Innocent Vampire. I'm not even going to read that. Can't help but think of virtue signaling in here. Because what I've noticed is the most jealous kind of people, especially women, love to go on their social media and post about all their tragedies in their life. As if other people don't have tragedies. It's not like you don't care about their pain. But what about your pain? And it can get really weird. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. It can get really weird. Oh my goodness, I don't like this stuff. I love how images become like posters. So I'm trying the artwork. Let's see how that goes. You know, black magic is all about ciphering psychic energy, death energy. Gets to be very hard nowadays to find good images. It's insanity to me. Oh, this is interesting. So this woman's just telling her all her problems. Oh my God, do you know what happened to me? Oh, da, 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 da. That's a strange one to me. They're trying to make the vampire look powerful. And interestingly enough, we got red and blue. Everybody knows what red and blue is for, right? Democrats, Republicans, all that. You think those colors are for nothing? I'm having trouble finding some really good images. These are kind of good. And, you know, I've already said this before. I've been an energy vampire. I think we all have. But, in my opinion, you get a certain age and it's like, now it's time for you to be a big boy or a big girl, right? Doesn't mean that you can't support people. But this is something that took me so many years to learn. And I explained this to you guys in another video. It's not my job to save everyone anymore. It doesn't mean you can't be compassionate, but there are certain individuals that want you to save them. And I've been in that situation before too, but I've noticed that there are certain people that's why they say and do the things that they do. They screw everything up in their life. Everything's just a complete mess, complete disaster, based on the thoughts that they've thought and created their world. And yeah, I mean, we're living in a pretty dark society. But now, instead of you taking some measures to change things and to improve things, and we've all been there, now it's someone else's fault. You're going to dump it in someone's lap, and now it's their job to fix it all. That's insanity. I've definitely seen a lot of women suck the energy from men. And that's not talking about the succubus, which, I mean, I suppose could be that, but they take everything from the guy. And it's always like these men that have just the biggest hearts. It's so sad. So now what I'm doing in my life is trying my best to avert myself from people that are like this. And I had an epiphany when I was dealing with that last person I told you about that I was trying really hard to help. And it was kind of it was sort of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was an epiphany, but it was even bigger than that. It was just such a life lesson for me, and kind of painful too, because I realized this person was just like the rest of the, excuse my French, the rest of the motherfuckers that were abusing me and putting me down, never cared about me. And it was just like really kind of hard to realize that. It was like, if you've been in a family that's really like either toxic or abusive or 100% narcissistic, because anytime there's abuse, there's narcissism, period. And it's all like on a different levels. But it's like you're always looking for the love and the compassion that you deserve to have, but you never get it. And I realized that I was looking for love in a completely barren desert, if that makes sense. And it was just like a huge, huge blow to my soul. But one thing that I've learned is to, and I've been told this by very many people, is that I'm very resilient, which I feel I am. But again, I didn't have a choice. Who can relate? When you constantly have to figure out chaos or disasters on your own, and you learn early in life that nobody's coming to help you at all, you just learn how to do things on your own. I mean, and anyone who's been fortunate enough to have a really decent, good alpha man that takes his role, that's amazing. Maybe one day I'll have it. I'm not sure, but I really hope so. If it can happen in this lifetime for me. But I don't think that all of us empath, kind-hearted people need to be by ourselves all the time. You just have to guard your energy and be on the lookout for these energy vampire, jealous, mean girl type. Because unfortunately, there's so many of them. And I feel like in our societies, and I say societies because, it depends on where you live, what your ethnicity is, what your religion, all those things come into play. It just fosters this. The go-getter. How many times we hear over and over about alpha personality. Now, I look at like an alpha male in a much different light than what we call like alpha personality. And, I'd have to really go deep into it, but I personally think, and I'm Gen Xer, that what has been pushed on us since we were like 5 years old is go get them. You got to get a job. You have to have a career. You've got to do this. Obviously, I didn't fare well in that. I tried. But it can create more narcissism. It might be a person that's not really a narcissist, but the system itself is narcissistic. You know what I mean? If you get the medals, if you get the trophies, if you get the cars, if you get the houses. And there's nothing wrong with having all that stuff. I have no problem with that. But I just feel like there's more to life, you know what I mean? So I'm going to look something up. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I'm not sure how this is going to come up on the screen because I have it set on landscape, but it doesn't matter too much. What I did was did a basic search, energy harvesting black magic rituals. Clearly, I'm not going into the rituals. I don't do that anymore. I have no desire to learn more about it. It's so dark and so evil. I'm good. I'm good. Even when I see it on TikTok or whatever, I don't need to learn about it again. I don't need to hear about it. I was already traumatized by it. I don't want any more trauma. But here is the basic definition of the energy harvesting, which all has to do with jealousy and gossiping and malignant narcissism, sociopathy, psychopathy, aiding and abetting, committing crimes, hurting children. It's all related. Energy harvesting within the context of occultism. And I personally think we need to stop using that as like a blanket statement, because occult just means hidden. And not all hidden knowledge is bad. Context of occultism and esoteric belief systems. I believe esoteric is internal. I have to look that up. Refers to the practice of intentionally draining, absorbing, or manipulating the life force. The news sound familiar? Sound familiar? Wars? News? Mind control? Soul harvesting? Anybody? Or manipulating the life force, emotions, or spiritual energy of others. I personally have a very strong suspicion that's why... How do I say it? I have a very strong feeling that that's what's going on with all the... How do I say this, you guys? All the diabolical things that are happening with the young children, like in Hollywood especially, all the pizza parties, you know, all that stuff. I think they're harvesting the energy of the child. And we see what happens to these children that do live through it. Some don't. It's a form of sacrifice. These practices are often associated with energy vampires or deliberate malicious intent, black magic. How you like me now? How you like me now? If you guys go down the rabbit hole, and I highly doubt anyone's going to read Kathy O'Brien's book that I keep telling people about, but I mean, if you've never had a dark night of the soul, you will. But me personally, I'd rather to live in truth than under illusions, because everything around us that's being pushed down everyone's throat, elusive in nature, mind control illusions. These practices are often associated with energy vampires or deliberate malicious intent, black magic, aimed at causing fatigue, imbalance, or misfortune to the target. And that doesn't stop at ending the life. How many times I keep talking about the death cults? Core concepts in energy harvesting rituals. Emotion is energy, negative emotions, such as fear. Where have we seen fear before, you guys? Don't you guys remember when everyone was warned about, how did the person, the black-eyed freak, how did he word it? The dark winter. If you know, you know. We were going to have a winter of darkness. Kind of reminds me of the Mothers of Darkness, but you know, what do I know? Negative emotions such as fear, chaos. Oh, chaos, you guys. Like chaos magic? And turmoil. We've never seen turmoil, have we? Are believed to be easily harvested by hidden, unseen forces to fuel magical workings. That's the diabolical part of magic. There are other people that are doing things in the light of love, love and light, that are doing good things for the world. Malignant intent. This involves directing intense, negative focus. Oh, where have we seen that before, you guys? On every news station ever? You know, with the actors and all that kind of stuff. Black magic often... Wait, where am I? This involves directing intense negative focus, such as anger, resentment, or a desire for harm towards someone. And then you have the other side, because you have the left-handed path and then you have the right-handed path, which is to do good for others. Like Christianity, do good to others. Or a desire for harm towards someone. Let's see. Do you think war is to harm someone? Do you think plagues are to hurt or harm someone? What is it, the four horses? You've got the pale horse, the black horse. You know, Katy Perry sang about it a few years ago. You've got the white horse. And then the red horse is for war. So let's see. Since 2020, we've seen plague. Now we're going to see war, pestilence. And what's the other one? I think one is hunger. But I'm paranoid. Taboo engagement. Black magic often utilizes forbidden or disturbing actions. Oh, look at this, you guys. Bloodletting. Illicit S-acts. Do you think that would come to the P, to the D, to the F? Or the use of forbidden items to harvest energy. And I will never go into the rituals. I don't want to spread that trauma and that energy. Just go research it yourselves. The decoy method. The common protective technique described against this is creating a decoy jar containing personal items like hair to absorb negative energy. It's why you never let anyone get your hair, rather than the physical body. Methods and context. Chaotic events. Large-scale, panic-inducing events. Panic-inducing events, everybody! Dang! Are thought to be used to harvest collective energy. Dang, you guys. Like order ab cow? Like order out of chaos? Like the two-headed eagle? Energy vampires, individuals who consistently drain the energy of others, leaving them exhausted or fatigued. That could be, you know, like I was talking, the gossip, the jealous person. Ritualistic tools. Use of dolls, talismans, or specific, often dark imagery to direct or blind energy. Kind of like the Super Bowl and all these shows I don't watch it. But you know, all that stuff people are seeing, they still don't want to, I'm an NPC, I don't see it. You got like hellfire all over the stage and people eating hearts and all this stuff. Wakey, wakey. Subconscious, unintentional. In some contexts, energy can be drained simply by the strong, negative, envious, or resentful focus of another person. I'm so glad that person cut me off. Hold on, guys. So I want you to see what search I did so you can find it if you want. Energy harvesting black magic rituals. And they're not even touching the rituals. Neither am I. I don't have any desire to go into all that. Been there, done that. I don't want to know. I do know, but I don't want to know anymore. Protection and cleansing. Practices to counter these energy draining activities include shielding. That could also involve praying. Visualizing a protective bubble of light around oneself. And a Christian would call on the name of Jesus. And, you know, various faiths, you know, they call on some, you know, whatever it is, they ask for protection. Grounding. Connecting with the earth, walking barefoot, touching trees to release excess or negative energy. I would say get off the news and the internet. Grounding. Okay, I already did that. Cleansing. Using tools like sage, incense, or in some traditions, marijuana smoke to purify spaces. Why do you think in churches, like certain churches, they burn frankincense? Mental boundaries. Facts. Maintaining emotional distance to prevent being drawn into chaotic, low vibration situations. Facts. Low vibration like the news. Low vibration like war, like plague, like pestilence, hunger. Okay, you guys, this is Wikipedia. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And you guys know I'm not religious, but I just want to touch on more of the energy vampirism. The four horsemen of the apocalypse are figures in the book of Revelation in the New Testament of the Bible, a piece of apocalypse literature attributed to John of Palmos and generally regarded as dating from about AD 95. Similar allusions are contained in the Old Testament books of Ezekiel and Zechariah, written centuries prior. Though the text only provides a name for the fourth horseman, subsequent commentary often identifies them as personifications of conquest, war, famine, and death. I've got a video about it, you guys, when I first started this channel. I think it has like 4 or 5 views. Just so you all know, it's a ritual too, but I don't want to get too deep. Revelation 6 tells of a book or scroll of God's night. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing, you guys. I want to talk about... Okay, I'm going to read the second paragraph. In John's Revelation, the first horseman rides a white horse, carries a bow, and is given a crown as a figure of conquest, perhaps invoking the Antichrist. Didn't L. Ron Hubbard think he was the Antichrist? The second carries a sword and rides a red horse as the creator of civil war. So now we're seeing that right now, because that's what they're creating. Conflict and strife. Think we're seeing conflict and strife right now, you guys? And I know a lot of people believe in all the revelations, but it's a script. The third, a food merchant, rides a black horse. You know, like the song that Katy Perry sang about, like, how many years ago? Ritualistic, anyone? It's my opinion. Black horse symbolizing famine and carries a pair of scales. The fourth and final horse is pale. Upon it rides death, accompanied by Hades. Sounds very like where Satan resides, isn't it? They were given authority over a quarter of the earth, to decay with sword, famine, and plague. Huh. Is that what we're seeing right now, you guys? The evildoers that are orchestrating all these evilness. But everyone wants to worship idols. And by means of the beasts of the earth. Man. This is the white horse. It doesn't look white to me, but... Then I saw when the Lamb broke one of the 7 seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying as with a voice of thunder, "Come." I looked, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he went on out conquering and to conquer. Conquering, huh? So I don't want to read the whole thing. You guys can go read it. I just wanted to talk about the energy harvesting. Oh yeah, wasn't there a horse? Like a huge horse statue raising up at the Denver airport. So that's it, you guys. Have an amazing day.